Alright everybody, welcome back to Cybercore Gaming, play as Final Fantasy VII. So we are now in Cloud's subconscious, and we are going to get explained to us a number of different things about, there's going to be a lot of loose ends in the story that get tied up here. I'm not going to read any of the dialogue here, I'm just going to kind of explain it to you as I go. But yeah, so it is, it's inside Cloud's subconscious, and basically Cloud's trying to find himself. And, you know, right now we've got two versions of the story. I mean, we've got what Cloud told us at the very beginning of the game in Calm. You know, that long, like, 2 or 3 episode, like, cutscene pretty much, where he was just explaining the past and whatever, and his version of what happened at Nibelheim, you know, all those years ago. So essentially, and then what you've got is, you know, in the Northern Crater, when we were up there, you know, a few episodes ago, Sephiroth throws a wrench in all that, and he's like, no, this is what happened, you know, blah blah blah. And Tifa's like, oh god, I don't know, like, it's not right. And then you got Tifa's version of events, which is different. Like, it is, there are subtle differences to Tifa's version of events, and we're actually going to get a little bit of that here. Okay. Yeah, so Tifa's really babysitting Cloud here. Cloud's having a bad trip, and Tifa's just kind of cradling him through it. So you got Cloud's version of events, Sephiroth's version of events, and Tifa's version of events. We have to kind of make sense of all of it. Yeah. All right. So he's going to try and retell the events again as he recalls them, you know, the same as he told us at Calm, pretty much. Yeah, Tifa already had bad vibes coming from him. Alright, so this is the major deal breaker here. This is where you start to be like, wait a minute. And Tifa's like, no. And the truth comes out. So yeah, there's the bombshell. But that's not all there is to it. Yep. This is the guy in the black hair. So Tifa's basically saying that part of Sephiroth's version of events is true. Mm-hmm. See, this is why I don't feel like Cloud's an emo bitch, is because, I mean, look at this shit. he's so fucked up, and it's not his fault. Like, he was fucking experimented on and shit, and his whole life has been like a fucking trip up until this point. Like, Squall, Tidus, like, what the fuck do they have to deal with? Like, not much of anything in comparison, like, mentally, you know? Yes, I know Tidus was just a dream, blah blah blah, spoilers, but I mean, come on. I hated that. I hated Final Fantasy X. Can I just say that? I loved it the first time I played it, and then as soon as I went back and tried to play it again, I was like, this game sucks. I'm sorry. Like, if you love Final Fantasy X, you're entitled to love it. And I don't want to start arguments, but I have very legitimate reasons for disliking it, and I'll just keep those to myself. Alright, so now they're talking about the night that Cloud and Tifa met, you know, by the well in the center of town. Alright, I was wearing these clothes. It's you too. And cute. So this really happened. Cloud met. See, there's also a disconnect between whether or not the character you've been playing as this whole time is Cloud. Because we know now that Sephiroth isn't the real Sephiroth. The real Sephiroth is fucking toast in a fucking crystal in the North Cave. Like, all the Sephiroths we've seen walking around have just been Jenova and clones, like, appearing as him, you know, because Jenova can manipulate appearances, that kind of thing. So there's some doubt being cast as to whether or not the same thing is going on with Cloud, because Cloud was experimented on with Jenova cells. And so they're like, you know, so they've established that this memory is real, but it's not enough to determine whether or not the human being Cloud that was born, that hung out with Tifa at the well in Nibelheim, is the Cloud that we're playing as right now. Or we're playing as Tifa right now, but you know what I mean. But it's not enough to tie those two together. It's not enough to prove that the little kid Cloud and the Cloud that's here now are the same person. So we'll know that's our memory. So now what she's doing is she's asking Cloud to recall something that only he would know about Tifa. So Cloud, the little kid Cloud talking now, is like, I wanted someone to notice me, and that's why I joined Soldier, and Tifa doesn't know any of this. Who? You know who? You, that's who. Yeah, Cloud had a crush on Tifa. So little kid Cloud is going to come down here and, you know, tell Tifa some things. So basically, what we're supposed to get out of this is that Cloud and Tifa were not nearly as close as Tifa remembers. Cloud just had a really hardcore crush on her. and he, you know, it's like that typical shy little boy thing, like where they're observing a girl that they like from a distance, but they don't, you know, really want to do anything. Seal up secret wish. Tender memories no one can ever know. So she's going to see firsthand now some things that she didn't know before. So we're going to look in here. And look familiar? Yep, it's Tifa's bedroom. So Tifa had this little posse of boys that I guess wanted to get in her pants or whatever, and they were all, apparently they were all jackasses, you know? Yeah. Yep. It's because we weren't really that close. This is a little emo, but I mean, like, whatever, he's a little kid. I guess it just drives home the fact that there are some people that have played this game that, for whatever reason, can't empathize with, you know, some apparently not so universal struggles of, you know, of boyhood. I feel like this is something that happens to every guy when he's a little kid. Like they have a crush and you can't get their crush to notice him, and their crush has all sorts of guy friends that they're kind of jealous of and that they think are stupid. And I don't know, maybe that's just me, because I was really shy as a kid too. But you know. So now Tifa admits that, like, you know, once Cloud was gone, she, like, kind of missed him and was thinking about him a lot. Yeah, Tifa's mom died, and Tifa takes off to go find her. You know, because she can't accept that her mom's dead. Yeah, so. And then these three boys that have been tailgating her the entire time turn out to be fucking cowards. Yeah, I don't think so. See ya. Hey kid, that's not how you win a girl's heart. I'm sorry if that comes off as sexist, but you know, I don't know if anyone whose heart is won from someone being a coward, you know. So the other two guys are like, yeah, fuck this. Cloud's like, alright, be my guest. And he goes after her. Don't remember the path I walked. Tifa missed her step. I ran to her, but didn't make it in time. Yeah. So Cloud went after Tifa to try and make sure she was okay and nothing happened to her. And then, of course, something happened to her. And Cloud got blamed for it just because he was, you know, there. I mean, at least he, like, didn't sit and mope forever. Like, he exerted his energy and he was like, alright, I'm gonna go fucking do something about it. Like, I don't know. I feel like Cloud gets a really bad rap just because this game is really hyped and has a huge fanboy base. But you know, objectively, I think he's actually one of the more, like, has, like, pretty balanced character development. Like, as fucked up as he is, like, you really feel like you kind of understand him a little bit at the end. You weren't created 5 years ago. Childhood memories aren't made up. So yeah, Sephiroth asserted basically that Cloud is a Sephiroth clone that he made with Genova cells, you know? And there is some like, there's like 10-20% truth to that, which I think we'll cover later. But right now, basically what we're going to establish is that Cloud was, you know, Cloud is Cloud. He's not a clone, and we're gonna go find that out now. This episode's gonna run long because, I mean, this is like a huge cutscene of information and story exposition. I really don't want to, you know, I don't want to muddy it by dividing it into a shit ton of episodes, so. Yeah, there's one place we haven't been to yet, and that's the reactor where all this shit happened. Where, you know, Tifa got hurt and her dad got hurt or died. I think her dad died. Yeah. Ching. Zack. So yeah, that's Zack. And even if you haven't played Final Fantasy VII, this game, you've probably heard of Zack. Or Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, which is the prequel to this. Where were you, Cloud? So Zack actually gets his ass handed to him by Sephiroth. Even though he's a good guy, like he tried to stop Sephiroth, like he's not, whatever. We don't know much about Zack at this point, but we do know that he was, he was a decent human being. He was not an antagonistic figure. And now we see that it was one of the random grunts that did Sephiroth in. Tifa, Mom, Tifa, my town, give it back. And ta-da! Alright, so to sum up, Cloud was actually born in Nibelheim. He did, have all those memories with Tifa. The only thing that wasn't quite right was that, they weren't as close as they thought they were, but Cloud had a crush on Tifa, and that's why he tried to join Soldier. But he didn't make it into Soldier. He fucked up. So when everyone came back to Nibelheim, he was there. But he wasn't the soldier, like the member of Soldier. He was just a regular Shinra grunt soldier. So he was there, and he does remember correctly everything that happened now. But yeah. So this actually doesn't explain that much. It clears up some falsehoods about Cloud's story at the beginning of the game. And it disproves the theory that... It disproves what Sephiroth said about him being created or him being a clone. He wasn't created, he's not a clone. He was born in Nibelheim. He was the kid talking to Tifa. All that shit. And he was there, he just wasn't Zack. He thinks he was Zack. For whatever reason. But we still don't know why he thought he was Zack. Or why he remembers all this shit all fucked up. And if there is any truth to what Sephiroth said, we don't know yet. But we'll know, because there's a little bit more to this. And so Zack's like, yeah, Cloud, kill Sephiroth. So Cloud already tried to kill Sephiroth. He rescues Tifa. He grabs Zack's sword. And he's trying to stop Sephiroth at this point. And Sephiroth tries to kill him. And somehow Cloud finds a ridiculous surge of strength and is just like, fuck you. Not really sure what Sephiroth's doing there. He just picks up Sephiroth by his sword and tosses him over the edge. And so that was the real Sephiroth there, and that's the fate of the real Sephiroth. And so he gets tossed into the life stream and just winds up a crystal in the North Cave, from which is where he's been doing all this fucked up shit from. I wish I could just go ahead and keep explaining and go through it, but I want you guys to be able to experience the story properly. So this is goodbye, Tifa. Tell me again. So originally, there was supposed to be more to this whole scene, but it got moved elsewhere. There's a flashback that you can view elsewhere in the game that explains why Cloud thought he was Zack, why Cloud is wearing Zack's clothes and has his sword, and why Cloud would associate, or why Sephiroth associated Cloud with Jenova and Hojo and all that, and the extremely partial truth about him being a clone of Jenova, because he's not, but Jenova has some involvement. Tifa, really you, isn't it? Oh my god, Tifa, we finally meet again. Stupid jerk. Kirk! God, are you alright? Yeah, voice there. No. Alright, here they go. And we got Cloud back. Yay! Cloud isn't quite so fucked up anymore. Alright, I don't want this episode to be 2 fucking years long, so I am going to go ahead and cut it here. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys kind of get the story now a little bit. Hopefully I was good at explaining it. I tried to be articulate. I know I'm not articulate, but like I said, there's a little bit more to it. And I'll see if I can go ahead and access those side quests as soon as we're done here, so I can go ahead and just knock all that out now before we advance the main plot. But anyway, I'm gonna cut it here, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care, and yeah, later.